Ta-da! And back at y'all again with another video. Welcome to this edition of Stop the Capping. I'm your host, Ahmad. And first, before we get to the bad news, the grimy news, I want to send a little shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles on their Super Bowl performance by winning the 59th edition of the Super Bowl with a 40-22 victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. I thought it was an outstanding game by the Philadelphia Eagles. I thought they brought their A game. I'm not sure what happened to the Kansas City Chiefs. They used to winning so much that and they beat them before. I guess they thought they was gonna do it again, but it didn't pan out this time for them. So congratulations to them. And on another note, something that they didn't talk about. Not only was it two, I won't call them African American, but there were actually two biracial football players in this game. Both Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts have biracial parents. And I think this is also a first in the NFL, but no one seems to speak about it. I think Jalen Hurts' mom is German or German descent, if I'm not mistaken. So, two biracial quarterbacks, and that's got to be a first in the NFL. But no one spoke about that. See, they kept that up under the carpet. They didn't bring up the black issue. They didn't bring up the biracial issue. They just said Jalen Hurts is Mahomes, which that's what it should always have been. That's what it always should have been. Not the pigmentation of our skin. It should never been about the pigmentation of our skin. So, with that being said, let's talk about today's topic. In today's topic, we're going to talk about the Gaza Strip. See, we as African American, we need to get ourselves more in tune to what's going on outside of the United States. We need to become completely in tune to what's going on to the rest of the part of the world because it is going to affect how we live here as African Americans. And we need to start getting involved in some of these issues that are concerning the United States. Because if we're going to be here, those issues are going to affect us as well. And we need to start voicing our opinions a little bit more and a little bit louder and a little bit better. Not just when one of us gets shot or killed, but we need to invest ourselves in other issues of concern instead of just walking by like we don't see what's going on around us. We need to get ourselves more knowledgeable and more in tune to what's going on within the country and outside. Not just here and there, those that are in the news media. We as African Americans living in this country need to get ourselves in tune to what's going on, not just around in our community, not what's just affecting us, but what's affecting all of us that are living here in the United States. We need to attune ourselves to what is going on around the world as a whole. We need to start opening our eyes and paying attention, not to the stupidness and foolishness that we do. We don't need to attune to P. Diddy going to jail. We don't need to all jump up and start writing videos left, right, and over foolishness. We need to start talking about things that are important and that are of substance. Not what one comedian out here doing stupid or one comedian doing that stupid or one comedian doing this one or one entertainer doing that. We need to involve ourselves with what's going on with the world as a whole and in general. We need to tune ourselves with that instead of tuning ourselves with the negativity that the 1% are out here doing. That's what I call them. I call them the 1%ers. Those out here committing crimes and violence and all that kind of stuff. They are the 1%ers. Their time is coming. Trust and believe me, their time is coming. But we need to tune ourselves to things that are of more importance. Especially if you're trying to have a family or you have a family or you want to create a family, you want to make a family, you need to tune yourself to what's going on around the world that is affecting us. And when I say us, I mean the United States. And if you live in the United States, you will be affected by those changes and conditions also. So tonight's question is I ask, who should control the Gaza Strip? Now, President Trump has brought up some proposals that we kind of take control in partnership with Israel. And the issue is what should be done with those that are left from the war? The displacement individuals, women, men, and children. What should be done with those? Well, two things can be said and asked. What are the mindset of those that's being displaced? How do they figure or feel about Israel? How many of those that are displaced lost brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, uncles, kids due to this war with Israel? What are their mindset? And who from that those displacement will rise up and want to get back 5 or 6 years later? So if we turn the strips back over to the displacement, those who are left to let them run it, we provide aid and assistance, let them rebuild it all up. What's going to happen 6, 7, 8 years when one of those teenagers or one of those kids that lost their parents due to this shenanigan wants to rise up against Israel? How many times do we have to get involved with the conflict of Israel? Every time those two nations get into it, we get drawn into it. Other nations only jump in, other Muslim nations only jump in it when we jump in it and it's starting to get out of hand. Then they want to step up. But they don't want to step up to stop it. They don't want to step up during the peace negotiations. They don't want to step up and say, hey, some of y'all can come here, some of y'all can come here. Hey, we open your doors here, we open your doors there. None of the Muslim nation does that. Nobody steps up and opens up their borders. None of them. Now, he's made a proposal that the United States step in. I think it's a great proposal. Why? We got 40,000 U.S. troops sitting over there right now. There are 40,000 U.S. soldiers in Israel right now. I'm over 50. There has been conflict with Israel and Pakistan since I was 21 years old. And probably even before then, when I really didn't pay attention back then. I left the University of Purdue back in 1982. I joined the Marine Corps 2 months later. On my 22nd birthday, I was headed to the United States Marine Corps. There has been conflict ever since then. There have been conflict ever since then, and I'm over 50 now. So tell me, why should we continuously to let them rebuild, and then another 5, 6, 7 years, here we go again. Here we go again. Now everybody's donating aid and assistance and this and that and help build the community back up. And then 7, 8, 9 years later, someone else rises up and now they wanna bring this foolishness again. When somebody gonna realize they can't be trusted? When someone gonna realize they're not a country of their words? They do not know how to honor their word. They keep electing individuals that drag them into war. They keep gathering individuals that gets them all pumped up and all charged up, and now they want to commit crimes, terrorist acts, and things of that nature. Now, first thing Jordan Easy comes out and says when President Trump said, well, they should move or go to other countries. Oh, no, 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 you're not. They're not gonna push them on us. No, 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 no. They should stay where they are. Okay. If they stay where they are, they can't be in control. That's point blank and period. They cannot be in control if they stay there. Okay, you can rebuild them, but they can't be the main one controlling things. They can't be the main one running the country. They are not trustworthy enough to run the country. And if somebody else runs the country, now you're gonna have civil war within the country. And now you're back at square one. So do we do we annihilate them? Do we allow Israel to annihilate them? Because that's what they want to do. They didn't want no ceasefire. They really want to finish them all off. That's what Israel really wanted to do. They want to get rid of them completely. So this stuff won't happen again. I know the prime minister thinking he's not going to live forever, but he wants this done once and for all. That's what he wants. He really, to be honest, I think he really wanted to just wipe them out, just make it dirt. That's what Israel. I think Israel is so tired of the shenanigans and the foolishness with with the Palestinians, with the Hamas. They just want to wipe them all out, point blank and period. Just annihilate them. Sure, the world is looking, but the world's not stepping in and saying, "Hey, let's find a better solution." Every elected president has to deal with the shenanigans that's went on in Israel. Every president that we have elected into office has to deal with the Palestinians and the